So, this morning I decided to watch Manny Pacquiao versus Thomas Bradley. It was a title fight. And I was watching a replay. I watched the replay because I had heard about the controversy about the decision at the end. And I decided to pay very close attention and score the fight on my own, based on what I know about boxing science and scoring. The last boxing match that I watched intentionally and wasn't suckered into was actually De La Hoya versus Mayweather, where at the time I felt like Mayweather was actually beaten by De La Hoya because De La Hoya was the aggressor and had to keep on chasing Money Mayweather down. But I came to the realization later that that's not how boxing is scored. I'm just being influenced by my love for watching mixed martial arts. So, taking away the control of the center ground and who is the aggressor, yes, Mayweather did win that fight. Now, in this fight, it wasn't just a fluke that people were seeing, Pacquiao as the winner, and it was actually Bradley. Based on the CompuBox stats, based on me scrutinizing each and every round, I would have scored it 119 to 111 for Pacquiao. And that was pretty much the same thing that Harold Lederman had up across the screen before they announced the results. Now, the judges, they had scores of 115 to 113, 115 to 113, and 115 to 113, but one going the other way. So what I have to ask is, where were the points taken off? Because normally it's a 10-point must, and the loser will get 9 points if it was a competitive round. Every round of this fight was competitive. Every one. So, to me, the worst case scenario would have been 120 to 110. When I see 115 to 113, that means that somebody scored this fight with somebody getting an 8 instead of a 9, which normally only happens when they were beaten really bad in that round, or they headbutted someone intentionally and the ref tells them, the judges, to take a point off for it. They do something illegal that they were already warned about. They do too much clinching and they were warned about it, and then... But I'm wondering, what in this fight was enough to take a point off from someone? I didn't see anything. There was no biting of the ears, So I was rather disgusted when I saw the scores. And really, the judge that ruled for Pacquiao, going 115 to 113, even that was too close of a score. I scored this 119 to 111. Pacquiao fucking won that fight, and those judges are worse than blind. Okay, it takes something worse than blindness to score the way that they did. So I'm happy that Pacquiao is actually not going to sign a rematch until an investigation is done into why the fight was scored that way. And really, he shouldn't shake hands with someone like that who can look at his own fight performance and then say that, yeah, 2 judges scored my way even though I lost the whole fight. The whole way through I was getting my ass kicked, but I tried explaining this to some of my friends, and I'm going to shift gears here. Some of my more intelligent friends, and they wonder why I take an interest in sporting events at all. Why do I watch the Steelers every year? Why do I watch MMA? Why do I watch anything that equates to people physically exerting themselves. And some of my friends, mostly of the more liberal variety, think of sports as quote-unquote the American Coliseum. And what they mean by that is there was once a lot of turmoil in Rome thousands of years ago, and some politicians were basically saved in their jobs by the existence of the Colosseum. The Colosseum was built to distract people from what was going on around them. Instead of caring about politics, they started caring about who was winning day after day in the Colosseum. And they look at not just regular sporting events. They look at NASCAR, and they look at WWE wrestling. They look at all things that are distractions that are normally correlated to the people that they disagree with as the Colosseum. And I'm fine with people making the general statement that people need to invest more time in things that are more important. But there is a spot in the middle of this kind of thinking that is down the rabbit hole, that is kind of batshit crazy. And that is when you start thinking that there is some sort of connection between some ruling Illuminati class of people that are intentionally injecting new forms of sports into pop culture in order to make people look the other way. And I'll say that there will always be, in America, people who will not like any given sport. And people that won't like any sport at all. And they will be chiefly concerned with what's going on in politics, and they still will be able to get their voice heard. We all have freedom of speech, and rather than blaming people's apathy on the fact that they have sports to watch and that they have 500 channels on cable TV, I think we should start looking at whether or not perceived problems by some people are actually important to other people. We should actually look at whether or not people are apathetic because they're actually happy in their life. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be watching another boxing match unless there is something that I get told after the fact that, you know, I need to look into. And I did in this case, and I was once again disgusted. I see no reason for me to watch boxing, even if Pacquiao gets his rematch against Bradley and wins, and then Money Mayweather sets up a $100 million fight against Pacquiao. I don't see myself wanting to watch it because of my perception that the scoring was not only horrible, it was corrupt. And what makes me enjoy some of the sports that I like to watch is that on any given Sunday, someone can win, yes, and that it's chaotic. And I don't like to think that there are outside forces affecting the game or the sport. So yeah, nice going boxing. Lost my money again.